Good evening and welcome to the March 6th, 2024 Council of Governments meeting. If you could please stand for the pledge.
States to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Before we get started, I wanted to welcome Grace and congratulate her on her new appointment. So thank you for being here. And for those of you that don't know who Grace is, she's our interim, District 10 representative. And then we also have Eric, too. He's here as well.
Welcome.
And we also have John Gomes out here in the audience today. Hi, John.
Hello. Hi, John. You're laughing back.
Hey, we'll move on to the consent agenda. We have multiple items on the consent agenda. Are there any board members that wish to pull an item off of the consent? Okay, seeing none, is there any public member that wishes to pull an item off the consent? And I guess we need to, is there any online? I'm not seeing anyone online raising their hand, so I will move it back to the board. Seeing that there's no items to be pulled, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Tim, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Gary, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We will move on to the regular agenda. First item up is the public comment. This is comment shall be limited to items that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the council and not on the posted agenda. Are there any members of the public that wishes to speak for any item not on the agenda? Hey, John.
Give me a chance to talk to the mic. I'll get another chance to say hello. John Gomes, Happy Tennessee retiree, former board member of the Calaveras Council of Governments. Just three quick comments. First, I looked at your agenda and saw the video on YouTube of the Caltrans description of the new double turnaround roundabouts in the City of Angels. Whoever put that together did an outstanding job. If you haven't shown it at a meeting, everybody should watch that at least once. It's a great preview of a project, and I haven't seen anything that good ever before. So whoever did that, they did a great job.
Around tomorrow from 47.
I think this is enough meetings for me this week. My second comment was I hope that in the hopper of projects, you still are looking at a passing lane and or turnout on the Highway 4 bypass after Angels, after you get through that turnaround to be as you're going to Murphy's. I just want to throw my 2 cents in for that. And lastly, I just wanted to suggest, having gone to Tennessee, I became somewhat of a transportation nerd here, so I've looked into the TDOT setup in Tennessee, Department of Transportation, and the one thing I thought that they do, interestingly, that was pretty cool, was on heavily signed intersections where a stop sign, or if you have a turn where there's a lot of arrows, they actually put a strip of the same colored reflectivity tape as the sign on the post, and it just jumps out at you that much more on some of the turns or stop sign. Very similar to the yellow that you guys put on the intersections with lights on them, with the signals. So just throwing that out there, it was an interesting observation I made because it works. It jumped out at me at night when I was there. So I do stop at stop signs now. It's no more California stops. But anyway, no, looking through the agenda, both this and transit, I was happy to see a lot of familiar faces, but also the quality of product is still there. Melissa Raggio and everyone is still doing an outstanding job. I'm sorry Aaron wasn't here to say hello to, but I wanted to pass along many thanks for many good times here and happiness to see when I come back that things are still moving forward in a very nice fashion. So thank you, all of you. I'm going to bid you adieu tonight, but carry on.
Thank you, John.
Nice seeing you.
Are there any other public comment? Seeing none in the room, I'm going to move to the online. I am not seeing anything.
There is none online.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Aaron. Okay, we will move on to item number 9, which is Caltrans.
Thank you, Chair Fallendorf, and good evening, Board. My name is Grace Mexayo, as previously mentioned. I am the interim District 10 Director, and I'm here today really to just to introduce myself to you in this capacity. Some of you know I've been in District 10 for about 17 years. I was a project manager for many years for quite a few Calaveras County projects, including the Wagon Trail project, and then later moved on as the Deputy District Director for Program Project Management, and now I am in this seat as the Acting District Director, and it really is my honor, it's really my honor to be able to serve the district in this capacity. I've grown very, very fond of our partners across the 8 counties that the District 10 boundary covers, and I really wanted to be in this role as Dennis Agar went to, bigger and better things in retirement. I wanted to step into this role to make sure that the partnerships we both worked hard to build in Calaveras County and our other partners continue to grow and to work really hard to improve on those partnerships. So it's really my distinct honor to be here as your acting district director. And I also brought a friend with me. Eric Mather is our Deputy District Director for Administration. In this capacity, he's more focused on the internal workings of our district, but I think it's also a great opportunity for us to be able to showcase the rest of our executive team, and hopefully you'll get to meet more of those executive team members as we go along in this process. I don't have a Caltrans report for you as Gregoria. I anticipate she is online. She does have all the talking points. So I just wanted to make sure that I introduce myself to the board and be able to just say, I am here to be of service, and please make contact, and we'll work together on whatever the issues are, and really just looking forward to that improved and continued partnership. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Grace. Gregoria, do you want to go ahead? Do you have?
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Grace. I also echo Grace's comments, and we're very excited for Grace to be here and carry forward in supporting this amazing partnership we've worked very hard in developing and maintaining. I just wanted to share a few items. Caltrans at this time has issued an equity index tool. It was recently showcased as part of our equity, diversity, and inclusion efforts statewide. The tool is available online, and it's used as part of evaluating projects to ensure that we are considering equity in the evaluation of projects, and also ensuring that our outreach as well is inclusive of everyone that needs to be contacted as we move forward in our projects. If you can just hold 1 minute, I'm having technical difficulty.
You're muted now.
Thank you for that. The last items I have just moving forward is with our regional work with the overall work program. We've processed Q2 invoicing. We're looking forward to working with Calaveras on its latest grant, and I hope to move forward in supporting Calaveras in that manner. I don't have any other items to share at this time. If anyone has any questions for me. Thank you.
Do any board members have any questions? Justin?
I would like to, what does it mean to have equity in the evaluation of a project?
Justin, I think I can answer that. It's a tool to make sure that everyone in the community, whether it be outreach or needs or resources, when they're working on a new project, I think they use this tool as like a checkbox to make sure that they're doing everything they can to make sure everyone is included in the process. I can get that for you too if you.
Okay. Any other? Yeah, Alvin.
I would just like to thank all Caltrans members here. The video, like John mentioned earlier, is wonderful. I've sent that to a bunch of people. Even my mother thought it was wonderful. So great job on that. there's my litmus test for most stuff in my life. But I'm excited for the 4 and 49 intersection coming and the sidewalks and the things that are going to happen in Angels Camp for the future is going to be wonderful and great for our community. So I just want to say thank you very much. And tomorrow from 4 to 7 at the Bret Harte Theater.
Right.
Come get some information.
From what I understand, it was 4 to 8 p.m.
Was it 4?
tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes, so I just,
Yeah, I was gonna say. 3 hours.
yes. I just wanted to, kind of jump on here with the conversations regarding the video. And that is something that the district is working very hard on to make sure that in the ways that we communicate to the community members are in ways where they can understand it. Those of us that are engineers understand line paper, drawings on papers, but we're really trying to move beyond that. It just makes our outreach so much more valuable when the tools that we use are well received and easier to understand. So we're very proud of that, and I'm so happy to hear the positive feedback. That's just going to fuel our effort internally to make sure that we put more effort into those types of outreach materials and make our message easily understood, really. So I just want to say thank you. I'm excited that I'm hearing all of this.
The visual aspect of it is very wonderful. As you're kind of floating through and you see different landmarks that and you're seeing the upgrades on the sidewalks and the bike lane and the forest. So it's visually it's nice to put that with it.
Yes.
One of our attendees that came to a meeting said, "That's a city I want to live in."
Oh, well, there you go. Thank you.
Anything else? Oh. Thank you for being here, Grace. Appreciate it. We'll move on to city and county reports. We have Robert in the room and we've got Rebecca online. So I'll start with county and then go on to B, which is Angels. Robert.
Yes, good evening. The county's been working on quite a number of projects. The roadside safety, signage and safety audit project, the actual construction component of that is supposed to start on March 18th. There's already a notice to proceed for that. So there's going to be a lot of signage being replaced out on the roads. We continue to work with the school board on the Valley Springs Safety Improvement Project. Today, we got some pretty good dates for moving forward with a right-of-way agreement there. Thank you very much for that help. So it's a 2-meeting process, and we don't want to get that into the last, when there's no time to try to get this into construction. So we'll get that done in March and the second meeting in April, and then that'll get us going into advertising and so forth. So we could get that project going in the summer. I'd like to thank Melissa for your support with that ATP grant application. I don't know if you remember, but a couple of years ago, the board and Public Works met at a study session where the board outlined 13 projects that they wanted us to submit applications for. Amongst those 13, there was one application for looking at the area around the Copperopolis School on Main Street. So we've approached the COG for assistance for a grant application through the ATP program, and we're working collaboratively on that. So that whole process is working the way it should be, with getting input from the board, and then we work off of those projects. Another project that we received funding from the COG was we received some RSTP funding. We were able to use some of that funding for the Copperopolis guardrail. That was put into the CIP late last year. So plan specs and estimates are complete for that Copperopolis guardrail. We'll be bringing that to the board for authorization for us to go to bid on that. That should be coming in the next few weeks. So, and then of course, Wagon Trail. Wagon Trail has been, construction has been on pause due to winter. The contractors are scheduled to start up again. First activities that you'll see is some mobilization, and then they'll start construction with, there's still earthwork that needs to be done. And we'll see what we get done this year.
Thank you, Robert. Are there any questions from the board? The county? No? Any public comment? Seeing none in the room, I'm not seeing any online. That I will move on to Rebecca.
Thank you very much.
You're on mute, I think.
I am, thank you. This is Rebecca Callan, City Administrator for the City of Angels. Congratulations, Grace. We're very excited to continue to work with you and excited to work with you in your new capacity. So we're just raring to go. So we have the road sign safety sign project, similar to what the county has. The city council approved a change order just last night, so we will be proceeding with approving that change order, and then the ordering of the signs will happen, and then installation will be forthcoming once the signs come in. The Murphy's Grade Road project, there was a closeout claim that was submitted to COG by our finance director. So that will be the last piece, we hope, on Murphy's Grade Road. Angels Creek Trail Cultural is still continuing. I did have a meeting with Parmander and Elizabeth Hummel, as well as our engineering firm, to work through kind of the last components associated with that cultural review, and that's underway. So we should be getting that wrapped up here very soon, and then we'll be able to move into the right-of-way phase. And then tomorrow, as Alvin mentioned, is the open house that we're having with Caltrans tomorrow at the Bret Hart Multi-Purpose Room from 4 to 8. And then Alan Lau will also be there to discuss the Complete Streets program. And we've been working together to try to identify the different outreach mechanisms and information. We are getting a ton of positive feedback on the video, and it helps kind of tie those two projects together, the Complete Streets and the Mobility Project. So it's really a great tool for us to point to. At one point, someone online said, it looks beautiful. I don't know why everyone's complaining with regards to the Mobility Project. So I think it gives people a different perspective so that they can see it. So we are excited for tomorrow and excited for what's to come. And we just really want to thank Caltrans for all of the support and the investments in our community, and looking forward to more.
Thank you, Rebecca. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing none, are there any public? None in the room, none online that I'm seeing, so we'll move on to the next agenda item. Thank you, Rebecca. Next is item number 11, which is the minute order approving the fiscal year 2024-25 draft operations budget. And I will turn it over to the executive director.
Thank you, Chair Fallendorf. Staff is recommending the council approve the fiscal year 24-25 draft operations budget. In your packet on page 76, our operations budget totals $636,585. We have it broken down into two sections. On the top are the Personnel costs, broken down by salary and wages and benefits, there is an increase of $26,351. This is attributed to the full-time employees' annual merits. We also had an increase to PERS. Part of that is our annual rate increase, and part of it is our unfunded liability payment. On the bottom part of the chart is general expenses. There was an increase of $1,500 for a total increase of $27,000. If the council has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Gary?
So the increase of $15,000?
Yes.
15,006. Is that a raise? Is that your raise?
Part of it is attributed to the executive director's
Okay, we
contract.
already voted for that. I just have one question.
Okay.
And that is, we're eliminating the auto maintenance.
Yes.
Is there a reason?
We transferred the Prius to CTA. So we,
Okay.
so it now
So
is.
it's going to show up in the CTA?
No, because we have an overall maintenance contract with paratransit. So it will be included.
Okay, well, that answered that question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Justin?
On line 5271, the general administrative services, 2,400. I wasn't, you gave a breakdown, but I wasn't sure what the 2,400 was. Was there like, was that a total on that?
So on,
Additional or something?
so on page 78, 5271 is general services, and it covers multiple contracts. So we work with Tribble and Ayala for our payroll expenses. We have a contract for our technology services. Acela meeting software is like the Granagus software that we use to put our agendas together and host our meetings. So if you look on page 78, it has a breakdown of all of those expenses. The increase is the professional services contract has a rate increase, you know, on their hourly rate, and annually it usually goes up, and that's what that $2,400 is.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Is there any?
Just one comment. Under that, on that page 78, that's a pretty good number for janitorial services for a year. That's great, $2,160.
Yeah.
Is that in conjunction with next door?
It happens to be the same company.
So
Yes,
you-
so they do both.
That's fantastic. I mean,
Yep,
that-
and I think we've had them for 5 years now.
Yeah, that's a good number, yeah.
Any others? No? Okay. Is there any public comment? Seeing none in the room, I'm looking online, not seeing any. Bring it back. Is there a motion to approve agenda item number
I will
11?
move this item, Madam Chair.
I'll second.
Second by Justin? Okay. Moved by Gary, second by Justin, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, passes. Next on the agenda is resolution fiscal year 24-19, approving the fiscal year 24-25 draft overall work program and planning program and monitoring expenditure plan. Melissa?
Thank you, Chair Fallendorf. So as the council is aware, every year we're required to put a draft overall work program together. It's due to Caltrans by March 1st. I've worked with Gregoria so that we can have it at our meeting and turn it in tomorrow. A lot of you are aware, on page 99, you'll see the overall work program chart. We usually do not identify or reflect carryover. That will be done after our year-end reconciliation, and we'll usually bring back Amendment 1 reflecting the carryover. But on the work element below, I just wanted to point out that we've completed 2 projects. We completed the Regional Greenhouse Gas Inventory and Reduction Plan. And that has been turned over to the city and county, and we've submitted our deliverable to Caltrans. We've also completed the Calaveras County Evacuation Access Needs Assessment and Preparedness Plan. And so we have been directed by city and county, they'd like the COG to move forward and apply for a full evacuation plan grant. So we'll be working on that in the future and hopefully bringing that back to the council. We have two new work elements 15 and 18. 15 is Safe Streets and Roads for All grant. The city and county partnered and applied for this grant. What this work element would do is provide the match. The county received 400,000 in grant funds and the city 100,000. They requested the COG participate and provide the match. We worked through the technical advisory committee and our executive management group, and we have supported that request. We've included it here in the overall work program. The other additional work element is the Calaveras County Active Transportation and Recreational Trails Plan. COG staff applied for this grant and was awarded $264,000. So we're super excited about this. City and county staff, we're going to put together an advisory committee. The contract award is in this packet. It's right after this item. If the council has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Are there any questions by the council? I see two lights on, so I just want to double check.
Sorry.
I just want to make sure. Okay. If there's no questions from the board, I'll move it to public comment. No public comment. I'm not seeing anything online. Move it back to the board. Is there a motion to approve this agenda item? Moved by Tim, second by Alvin, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes. Good. Move on to item number 13, which is the minute order approving the award of professional service agreement with Fair
Fair and Pierce.
and Pierce, for active transportation and recreational trails plan. Melissa.
Thank you, Chair Follendorf. I have this item, but Aaron did most of the work, so I want to say thank you to Aaron. But RFP was released in November. We had two proposals. We had a scoring or an evaluation committee comprised of city, county, COG, and Caltrans, and Fair and Piers was the top scoring proposal. So we are excited, and we are asking for the council to approve this professional services agreement and authorize me to execute the contract.
Are there any questions on Gary?
No one is here from Fur and Piers?
No, they are not. But they have scheduled in their contract updates, and they will be coming in person to meet with the board.
Okay, well, part of the contract is their scope of work is formation of a stakeholder working group
Yep,
and project advisory committee.
yes.
I want to make sure that all areas of the county has a representative on that committee. From the north end of the county to the south, to the west, to the east, all areas. I prefer to have one from each district, 1 through 5.
Okay,
So we're all covered on that. And there's no, well, we didn't get it. I just would rather have that all covered.
perfect.
I've already have a couple people in mind that I know will be more than happy to sit on this committee.
Okay,
And one's from District 5 and one's from District 1. I'll have a conversation with Ben about it. But I want to make sure that we cover that. So we cover this, since this is for the entire county,
yes.
that we're all represented. And then the robust community outreach and engagement. I want to make sure that when we meet with them, I would like to meet with them at some time so we can go over what that entails.
Okay,
Because it's supposed to be robust and it's not just, well, okay, on Monday at 4 o'clock, we're going to be in Valley Springs. And then for an hour. Robust to me means that we're gonna do a complete outreach so that the community are aware and they have an opportunity to chime in on this.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of, I hear all the time from people about these things. I'm glad we're doing this and we got the grant. Thank you, Aaron, for your hard work on this, but I want to make sure we're covered on it and we get good input. So when it comes back to the board here, that we have complete community input from all of the communities that we're going to be.
And I'll bring those back to the council. I'll go over where they're going to be. We'll brainstorm on our strategy, and then any input from the council, we'd be happy to incorporate.
Okay, and then the next item on there, the scope of work is item number 4. I'm not exactly sure, and this is why I kind of wanted to have them here. It says deep dive assessment into existing conditions. What's a deep dive?
Well,
Are we gonna dig up dirt and turn it over?
no, like we have so it's bike, pedestrian, and trails. And I think this is
That's correct.
the first time we've had trails, and we want to make some partnerships with federal land and reach out to those partners. But I think they want to look at all of the bike and ped work that we have done in the past. I think 2015 was the last time we did a county-wide bike and pedestrian plan. So really look at what of that infrastructure is still being used. Has the need from the community changed? That kind of stuff.
Okay. And I think we need to have it on that committee. I'm sorry, I didn't bring up, I said all 5 districts, but also from the city.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have projects that they're kind of on hold, but it would benefit to be a part of this. So from the city also.
Yep. And we'll be really interactive. Like every step, we'll come back to the council to make sure that this is what you want to see.
Okay, all right. That's-
Well, we funded the rim trail. Yeah. So we do have a lot of contacts with the people that,
And then one more item. This is a 24-month project.
yep.
And it's about 300 and what, 300 something. We're contributing 34,000 plus the 264. So I want to make sure that we keep a handle on that and they don't come back to us on month 20 saying we need another 20,000 to finish the project. I want to make sure that they're doing what they need to do, but we stay within the realm. So
Yes.
if we can have reports at least quarterly or biannually of where we're at over the next 24 months on how much has been spent on it, so we're aware of the budget.
I will.
Okay.
And Fair and Peers, we've worked with in the past. They are a great company, and they have some of their team members live right here in Calaveras County. So
Oh,
we're
great.
excited to work with them.
All right, thank you.
Any other, sorry, excuse me, any other board comments or questions? Is there any public comment? Seeing none in the room, none online, we'll move to, is there a motion to approve this item?
I'll move this item.
Moved by Gary, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Justin, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, move on, that passes. Next, we have council report, so I will start to the far end, Tim. Okay, Justin,
I have nothing to report.
Caroline,
We had our council meeting last night, and Rebecca gave you an update on those items. We had a park update, and it looks like they will be moving forward with a park plan after we get the geotech report, which was going to be at the end of this month. So that's good news, and I think that was it. And then the Caltrans meeting tomorrow from 4 to 8 at the high school. Anything?
No, I think they've ordered the play structure, the community
Yeah.
development, the community club, I think they ordered the play structure. Right, so let's wait.
Nice.
Not a lot to report, but just that the melodrama, or famous melodrama, is ongoing with, tomorrow night will be the dress rehearsal with first performance on Friday. This time it's sponsored by the Volunteer Center, I think. And we're excited to have that continuing tradition. And things are just continuing to lump along in the West part of the county.
Gary? What?
I have nothing to report other than, don't forget to turn your clock ahead on Saturday. You lose a whole hour. There's only 23 hours on Saturday. So, don't forget because you'll wake up an hour late. That's all I have.
Well,
And I don't have anything to report. Next, we'll move on to staff reports. Melissa, anything?
I just wanted to report, I've been working with the city and county on CMAQ funding, and we anticipate bringing some programming changes back to the council in April.
Ann? No. Aaron?
You got something?
Nothing to add, thank you.
Okay. And then we will move on to so we are adjourned for the COG. We meet again April 3rd, 2024, 5:30 right here in this room. Now we will move on to the CTA. So Ann, do you need a minute?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
good night, you guys.
Bye. Hey, hold on, I guess I need a minute. Okay. We will move on to consent. I'm looking at the call for order on CTA, and we don't have anyone joining for any of those reasons. So move on to the consent. We have a couple consent agenda items on here. Is there any board member that wishes to pull an item off of consent? Seeing none, is there any public comment? Seeing none in the room, none online, move it back to the board. Is there a motion to approve the consent?
So moved.
Moved by Tim, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Pat, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None? Moving on. Next, we have the regular agenda item, which is item number 6, public comment. Are there any public comments for any items not on the agenda? Seeing none in the room, none online, we'll move on to item number 7, which is the minute order approving fiscal year 24-25 draft operation budget. And I will turn it over to the executive director.
Thank you, Sheriff Allendorf. This item before you is the fiscal year 24-25 draft operations budget for CTA. This budget totals $1.8 million. One of the items that attributes to the decrease of $73,000 is, as you know, we bought the property last year, so the $130,000 comes off. We had our operations contract under 5272 with an increase of $19,400. And then we're looking at an increase in fuel. It's always hard to anticipate or pin that down, so we'll bring that back in the final. I did include capital, and I know we had a discussion about this at the audit, but I did include 2 buses because those are the ones that we have received confirmation on and, that they have the chassis. But I did not include the 2 additional buses because we haven't received that confirmation. So I don't want to, inflate the budget because I think we may move on to a process where we don't include the capital until we know we're going to get it in the next month in a hope of not, funding a budget that includes those expenditures and then we don't receive them and then we've overclaimed. So is there any other questions from the council? I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay. Seeing no questions from the board, is there any public comment? Seeing none in the room, none online, I'll move it back. Is there a motion to approve this item?
So moved.
Moved by Tim.
Second.
Second by Pat, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, passes. Next, we'll move on to item 8, which is minute order approving the addendum to the lease agreement between CTA and BNN LLC for the transit center facility. Melissa.
Thank you, Chair Follendorf. As the chair mentioned, staff is requesting the council approve this addendum and authorize the executive director to execute it. Our lease expires June 30th of '24. That lease was a 5-year lease. The lease that I'm proposing to you today is a 3-year extension. In the previous lease, that was for 5 years, some of you may be familiar with the COG lease where they assess a CPI annually. BNN LLCs had not ever assessed a CPI. So if you look at this proposed addendum, our current rate right now is $3,485. Effective July 1st, it would be $3,900. And then he's outlined the two base monthly rents for the next 2 years.
So he's turning it into a triple net, or double net.
Yeah,
But we got 5 years.
exactly. Yeah. And I'm trying to line up as close as possible with, construction. I'm anticipating releasing the design RFP any day now. We're looking at, I'd like to have it advertised for a month and a half, 2 months. It's going to be a pretty big package. I'm anticipating design costing like $300,000. This will give us the roadmap of how to go through and get to construction. So I'm thinking 3 years, hopefully. So if anyone has any questions on the lease.
Justin?
Is there, let's say the project gets completed before the last year or something of this lease, is there a penalty for not taking the full term?
We haven't broached that subject, but I think I'm being conservative on the 2 leases that we, did tonight. I would be amazed if we were done in 3 years.
Okay.
I'm hoping that after this 3 years, I can negotiate maybe a month to month with him. This is our transit facility, so we have so much equipment and buses and security and everything already invested into the facility.
Okay.
Alvin, do you have any? Gary?
Yeah, I do. We're asking to approve this addendum, and the addendum hasn't been signed by the property owner or the managing member. So if we agree to this, how do we know they're not going to change it? Because normally it's signed before it comes to us, so then it's a done deal.
Yeah.
So
You're authorizing me to sign, just like you authorize me to, negotiate contracts. I can bring it back and put it in consent.
no, I understand that, but I'm just concerned that,
I can bring it back in April. That's why I came this early, because all of these leases, expire in June and July.
Yeah.
So we have time. I can bring it back.
I'd rather have a signed agreement in front of me for this particular application.
Okay.
So I know this is what he's agreed to. And
Yep,
he's
no
not gonna
problem.
change it when you go back to him.
Okay.
I mean, normally that's what,
Yeah.
so I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but this, yeah, no. So I'd rather see a sign. But whatever you guys want to do, that's just my concern. I'm only one of 7. So.
We can bring it back. We have enough time.
It's easy. We've got time. We
Okay.
can bring it back.
Put it in consent agenda.
Yep.
All right. Cindy, you agree? Thank you.
Okay, so we will, do we need a
We'll just,
motion to
we'll
send it-
continue the
to
item,
continue the item?
and staff has the
Then we'll-
direction. I'll bring it back in April.
Okay.
So we will continue this item, and we'll move on to item number 9, which is paratransit services. Cynthia, hi.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. I made it, yay. Last month was a little busy with weather conditions. Upcountry gave us a few little challenges here and there. It tried to do it last week, but it didn't turn out. We did not have the blizzard they were anticipating for this one, so that's all good news. This quarter, in particular February, we were busy with our quarterly assessments. This month is pre-trip assessments. We do a distracted driving refresher course. And then we also do every quarter video assessments where we pull video from each of the vehicles from the drivers, and then we watch about an hour's worth of their driving, just to ensure that they're calling out their stops and, not eating and driving and listening to, crazy music with passengers on board and things like that. So they all fared well, so that's good news. We're doing our job. We did do some time point assessments. I'm starting that where I have staff available. And I'll send somebody and have them just sit at a stop and see if they're running hot or running cold. So far, no one has done either. If they're running hot, they sit and they're not moving until that time point. So I'm really happy about that. And that was in response to a complaint we had, a couple months back. So I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that I was following up on that. Other than that, we welcomed a new team member to our group. His name is Joey. He's just in training now. That should really help round out all of our shortages. We've been really challenged with staffing, but it seems to be coming around. He's a great person so far, and he's learning fast. He's ready to go practically. So if you get a chance and you see him, say hello. That's all I have.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Jay?
Yeah, I do, Cynthia, I have, and it kind of doesn't pertain to this, but it pertains to something that could be possible. I don't know, I'm gonna ask. I know normally we don't do this type of thing, but the traveling Vietnam Wall is gonna be in Merced from the 24th, 25th, and 26th. And our Rotary Club is putting together with Brian, which is the Veteran Service Officer here, a number of Vietnam vets to take down there to the wall for them to visit. And we're gonna need a bus because I think it's starting to grow. We may even need 2 buses. So I don't know if this is something the board's interested, whether we can have it. I mean, actually it'll be paid for, whatever the cost for the driver and a fuel to get them down there so they could see the wall.
Is
And
this
they're
for-
Vietnam vets within the county, not just in the circuit areas.
Right.
They've advertised out to all the veterans here in Calaveras County that we are going to be doing this project and taking them down if they're interested in going to visit the wall. So I don't know if that's something we can work out or something that maybe we can do something different. I'd like to talk to you sometime about it between maybe next week sometime.
Is it for this month?
It's for
March?
May.
May? Oh, May.
It's May 24th, 25th, and 26th, but I think the 25th is a Saturday, and we're looking to take them down there on the 25th,
Okay.
which is a Saturday. Yeah, and then bring them back.
All right. I'll talk with Melissa. I know a lot of times some of these things will fall under a charter rule. And so we'll have to talk it out and see how we
Okay.
could do that.
It's for the benefit of veterans, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, we have the cutoff date is next Friday to see how many. I think right now we're around 28 that are signed up, but I think we're looking at probably some more that are gonna be coming in and signing. They have to be Vietnam veterans, obviously, and wanting to go down and see the wall, see if they have companion names on the wall that they fought with. Yeah,
That's exciting news. I didn't realize that was coming.
yeah. Were you? Yeah, this is a traveling wall. It's coming for, it only comes around not that often.
Yeah.
But it's in Merced.
Okay.
Okay.
It's very moving, and I found Jean Bedger, and I did a chalk drawing for Bob.
Yeah, yeah,
But
good. All right, thank
All
you.
right, thanks. Okay, we will move on to staff reports. Any staff reports?
Well, the Saturday Hopper will start on this
The 16th.
16th. We align the beginning of our Saturday Hopper with Irish Days. It's been very successful. Cynthia came up with the idea of running a bus, going up the hill, and then we have another bus running down. So it really helps with parking and the crowd there for Irish Days. Yeah.
There's no other staff reports. We will adjourn and we'll be back here April 3rd at 5:30. Thank you, everybody.